Hi, this is JJ from Paranormal Talks, paranormaltalks.com. And as promised, we are back. And this video, we want to talk about phase shifting ascension symptoms. And our speaker today, Caton, he saw these symptoms shared to him during his ayahuasca vision quest. Also, Cannon, what's her name, Greg?
Dolores Cannon talked about it.
Dolores
I
Cannon
even
also
mentioned
talked about it. So there are many sources that have talked about these phase shifting ascension symptoms. I've experienced some myself, and our speaker, Mr. Caton, has also. Let me give you some background on Caton. He is a consummate healer. This is his website. You can see all his books on this. And there is one book in particular, The Gospel of 2012. This is it right here, where he discusses this ascension symptoms in this phase transitioning, what it's about and why it is occurring at this time and its purpose. While we're at it, let me also show you Paranormal Talks website. Since we are talking, my name is JJ. Like I said, this is our home site, and you can look at it and see what we are about, why we do this as an educational organization. If you want to know more about me, just click on the About, scroll down, and here I am, JJ Wells. Here's a photo of me and my background. Also, as I said, we are educational, so we fill in the gap that is really seriously missing in our Western culture around all this woo-woo stuff, all this paranormal supernatural stuff that is a core, important, critical part of ourselves as soul beings. So you can look at all these videos. Some of these videos are from some of our previous Paranormal Talk speakers, as well as from our previous paranormal supernatural conferences around controlled remote viewing, energy medicine, ET abductees, UFO contactees, near-death experiencers, all of this stuff that is part of our humanity. It's a real part. So take a look at it there. Let's switch back to Mr. Caton's website, and you can learn more about him right here, an overview about him and how he's been in the medical healing, particularly the herbal healing industry for decades. So with that, Greg, I want to welcome you back. And we're going to talk about and understand better how, as we move into 2020, how this ascension symptoms, this phase transitioning we're experiencing, what it's about, and what we need to look for. Greg, tell us about that.
Well, like I did in previous videos, sometimes it helps to give something a historical context. I don't think we covered this in a previous video, but if not, we should. What happened is when you do entheogenic work, first of all,
and what's extheogenic? What is that?
Entheogenic. That means basically the search for God using what in the West are referred to as hallucinogenic or psychedelic or substances that allow you to actually alter your consciousness to actually acquire knowledge of the other side, direct knowledge, not knowledge from books, but actually acquire direct knowledge, which most people in the West can't even understand. That they associate knowledge, and we've talked about this before, they associate knowledge with reading something in a book that's written by somebody else. They don't appreciate the fact that you can acquire knowledge about things directly from the source, as it were. So what happened to me is that I had an experience in November of 2011 where I encountered a spirit guide.
And was this experience an ayahuasca vision quest?
Yes, I took ayahuasca. In fact, I really, someone gave me it. There's no standardization for this stuff. It's not like you can go in the jungle and get or work with someone to produce a ayahuasca brew, and you know exactly how many milligrams of dimethyltryptamine there is in your brew. So sometimes it's hit and miss. Well, I'd gotten a shaman who gave me a concentrated form of it, didn't know about it.
Ooh.
I drank a whole glass, and he says, "You shouldn't have done that." I said, "What did I do wrong?" He says, "You're only supposed to take 1 tablespoon." Anyways,
oh
was
oh my God.
so yeah. So majorly OD'd.
Parental supervision.
Yeah. I spent a good portion of that night sitting on a toilet. Anyways, however, yeah, when I wasn't puking, I was doing something else. But I was told, I had an encounter with one of my spirit guides, which people don't realize. You can talk to your angels, you can talk to your spirit guides, you just have to have the means to do so. You have to believe it's possible. If you don't believe it's possible, well, then you'll never experience it like anything else. And I was told that we would have an event where the relationship between the third, fourth, and fifth dimension was such that perceptually it would be like they were separated by simply transparent curtains. They still each existed in their own right, but we would be able to, like changing the channels of your TV, you could go back and forth between the third, fourth, and fifth dimension. I thought, well, that's a pretty bizarre thing to say. And I didn't have anything previously that I'd read. This didn't comport with anything that I'd previously encountered in literature or even in my experience. So I said to my wife, I said, you know what we're going to do? I'm going to do a whole series of ayahuasca vision quests that are targeted. By that I mean and you can do this, by the way. You can take entheogens with the idea. I'm doing this because I'm on the quest for specific information. And that's important because most people think, oh, you just take this stuff and the whole reason you're doing this, you're trying to get high. It's really unfortunate in the West that people associate entheogens with some kind of recreational drug use, and it's nothing of the kind.
Yeah.
No, there's never been anyone that I've ever read about or heard about that got addicted to ayahuasca. It's a very bitter brew. It's just very off-putting. There's no way anyone's going to get addicted to this. It's not pleasant, but you do it anyways because you're on a quest for knowledge. So I did this series of vision quests, and that information worked itself. Maybe you can show the book if you've got it there. My book, The Gospel of 2012 According to Ayahuasca. It contains everything that was revealed to me in a time of span that ran roughly from December of 2011 until May of 2012. As an exercise in book selling, it was foolish because people are going to associate it because of the title with 2012, and here I am coming out with May of that year. There's no time to market it. I still thought it was important. But what happened to me personally, there you go. What happened to me personally is that I thought, because this all seems so real and so clear and so eminent, that I was never told this. And I say that in the book, I was never told this. But I associated, maybe this has something to do with all of this hullabaloo about December 21st, 2012.
Oh, about the end times.
The Mayan calendar and all that stuff.
Yeah, okay. The end times, yeah.
Well, at the end of 2012, I thought, well, it's very simple. I have been given the ability to see into a future event, but I'm obviously clueless about the timeline. I don't know when this is going to occur, and I just need to be honest about it. I believe these things are going to happen, what's been disclosed to me, but I have no idea what the timeline is. So I forgot about it. Like anything else, you move on with your life, you go on to other things, you're busy, you've got other things you attend to. So I went on with my life and continued my work as an herbalist and continued doing the things that I do, and kind of forgot about it, really. Well, didn't push the book, just kind of let it all alone. Like, this is something in my past. Kind of like you feel, after you've been through a divorce, been through two, you just kind of, there's certain parts of your life you just close the book, and it happened. But I'm going to move on now. I'm going to move on. So I moved on. Lo and behold, sometime in 2018, I started to have these experiences that are similar to what Dolores Cannon said would occur when we got closer to the event. Now, Dolores Cannon is no longer with us. She died in, I can't remember now, 2014 or 2015, as a result of an accident, but that's another story. And all of a sudden, what I had put aside and thought, well, I'm just going to forget about this and move on. I wasn't able to forget about it and move on because it's in my face. I'm dealing with this on a regular basis, and here's what's happening to me. I'll be sitting doing something like I might hear at my desk, and all of a sudden, I feel like I'm leaving my body. I feel nauseous, kind of like you do when you take ayahuasca or some other entheogens. I felt slightly nauseous. I felt ataxia. When I got up, it was difficult to even walk
and
straight.
what's ataxia? What's ataxia?
Loss of muscle control, loss of, kind of like you're drunk, right? It's ataxia.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened to me is that I said, I want to know what this is. So I started talking to friends who also use entheogens. A lot of my friends are like myself. They're kind of psychically hypersensitive.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, other of my friends started to experience the very same thing. Slight variations, mind you. Dr. Richard Sauter up in Caton, for him, it's like a light vibration. He experiences 24 hours a day. He says, even when I'm sleeping, he says, something is going on. And I talked to, and these were a wide variety of different friends, and it was apparent to me that there was something that was going on. Now, to be fair, I believe these are the result of some kind of astrophysical event that's going on right now that involves us and the Earth. There are, and I've even said this in the recent essay that I wrote, there are alternate explanations. There's all explanations that this is caused because of the massively increasing shift in the magnetic north. It's moving toward Russia. It's like 100 over 100 kilometers a day or year. In other words, the magnetic North Pole is moving. I remember reading years ago they're having to change the directional
runways.
figures at the end of runways because of the fact that
runways.
the magnetic north is those figures aren't accurate anymore.
Yes.
I don't think that's the case, but that's been offered as an alternative suggestion. But something very seriously is going on that's affecting equilibrium. A lot of people who have these ascension, what they call ascension symptoms, are having where they feel it in their teeth. They literally feel something going on, that their environment's changing, and they feel it in their teeth. There's others that report that that they have these very high-pitched sounds that they hear that they didn't hear before. Now they're hearing all these high-pitched sounds, and no matter where they go, even when they go into a place where there's not a lot of electromagnetic pollution, they still have these sounds that they're having to deal with. So I readily admit that these are things that for which there are alternative suggestions, but I think it's uncanny that they match fairly closely to what Dolores Cannon was told. And there just seemed to be an acceleration of entropy where our world just on a feeling level just feels like it's falling apart. And as I point out in a couple of my books, I think it's interesting that the most sacred of all the ancient Chinese texts is something called the I Ching. Confucius, when he was 70 years old, said, I only wish I could live 50 more years. So I had 50 more years to study the I Ching and really understand it thoroughly.
Jeez.
The fundamental principle of the I Ching, of course, is when things reach an extreme, things revert to their opposite. It's hard to imagine our world getting any more evil and corrupt and nonsensical than it is now. It's just getting weirder by the day.
Well, I don't think our world is any more evil or corrupt. I think it is simply the fact that we are awakening, or rather, it is being exposed for our viewing pleasure or horror, depending. It is simply being exposed. And
I'll
like
go with
what we see.
I'll go with horror. Yeah, it's so. I think what's important at this point, especially to listeners of Paranormal Talks, I think it's important that people start being more sensitive to changes in their own physiology and start sharing these with other people, so that you have this kind of camaraderie of people who are able to share their experiences, so that those who are having it don't feel that they're like totally alone. Because if I hadn't already had these experiences, then I think, oh my God, there's something wrong with me. I need to go to the doctor if I didn't know this. Yeah, so I think it's important that people share these experiences so that they're able to get it. They're able to feel camaraderie. They're able to get a better sense. They're able to feel that they're more grounded.
Yeah, okay, let's stop here. I want to do a second video, and let's dig more into the actual symptoms, the purpose for the symptoms, and more of what Dolores said and what you saw in your ayahuasca vision quest. So that's 4 things.
Okay, very
So
good.
we'll be back.
All right.
Part 2. Bye.